Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's awesome to have you here. Right now I am being joined by my very good friend.
Hello.
He just wanted to pop by and say hi and then pop out his earpiece. No, this is a very good friend of mine. He's been absolutely phenomenal, and he likes to kind of communicate with music like I like to do. He's been very inspirational to me lately of just different songs. You know how I like to sing at least like 20 minutes every day. It's great for the diaphragm, great for, breathing exercises and stuff like that. So,
Great for the spirit, too.
absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. I mean, it definitely helps even uplift, me. Even sad songs, because, hey, you gotta cry sometimes, right? So.
Amen.
I wanted to pop by real quick. My very beautiful and talented daughter she told me about this thing called Capcut, and so I'm gonna try it out. So let's see. I'll see you guys in just a minute. Well, it has definitely been a night. A broken door, a finicky alarm system, and whew, did it get busy. Or at least steady, which is a testament that, Murphy's Law is still in effect, of course. But I am definitely not going to let anything get me down. I just have to make sure that I hold on to, the things that inspire me, like I usually say. And I tell you what, you guys inspire me. You really do. And I can't thank you enough for being here with me. Your support means so much to me. Especially when wonderful moments, are threatened, brings me to one of the things I was talking to a friend about, as far as there are some people who don't like the idea of you being in a good mood if they're not the ones that provoke it. Usually narcissists. They feel threatened by your good mood because it means that you can actually thrive without them. They generally don't like that idea. But, you know what? It is true. You can thrive without them. I've found one of the, best ways to shut down a narcissist is by not offering them any supply. If they try to argue with you, don't defend, don't engage. Just say, okay, that's your opinion. And, doesn't mean you have to agree with it. It doesn't mean you have to argue with it. Like I said before, that's something that can be very hard to do, especially for people who have grown up in narcissistic family dynamics. We have that need to defend ourselves, and it's because we haven't done anything wrong, and we know we haven't done anything wrong, but trying to convince them of that is pretty much a futile attempt. So the best thing to do is just not engage, and just you're not going to change their mind, unfortunately. So go for a walk away, and either they will get over it or they won't. And I know that's something that's very, very hard to do. I mean, trying to escape a narcissistic dynamic, I mean, sometimes can mean that you have to be ready to lose everything. And that is so hard to do. But sometimes it is for the best. In fact, most of the time it is for the best. Because you will ultimately thrive without them. You are strong enough. You are incredible enough. I mean, look at what you've already survived. And like I said in my last video, you know, survival is an achievement. It is something absolutely miraculous sometimes. So, just please keep that in mind. You know, what people think of you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. You know, I did want to bring up that last weekend we did celebrate my youngest 18th birthday, and every year we go to the Pirate Festival. And I love it because it's like the Renaissance Festival light, you know? And it's really a lot of fun. There's no fee to get in. And if you're here in Colorado, it's usually held at the Adams County Fairgrounds in North Glen. And I will try to finagle and see if I might be able to post a picture up here, because it was so much fun. And I tell you what, just seeing her laugh and smile, especially in the wake of such a tragedy, was incredibly inspirational as well. I mean, just being able to let go and enjoy herself, it was very inspirational to me. That being the reason I brought it up is because, you know, speaking of things that are inspirational, right? You know, it's, you can find inspiration wherever you look. And sometimes you can find it within yourself. That was why I brought up last time that, you know, you've got to, you can, you know, sit and just think about all of the achievements, all of the things that you survived. You know, every little thing that you can hold on to is inspiration, and it's great, you know, and it reminds you of your worth. So take some time to celebrate yourself and show yourself some self-love, because you deserve it. Thank you. Woo, so finally home, and time for actually something that has become my favorite part of the day. Cup of tea, some yoga, and some meditation. Now that's actually really funny, because I was thinking about it, and honestly, shoot, there was a time that I really never saw myself saying that. I don't know, for some reason, you know, the concept of meditation and tea and yoga just didn't really appeal to me. I think a part of me was afraid of sitting still. And I mean, it's funny because I'm one of those that I usually encourage, like, facing your demons head on. And while I would do that, for some reason I wouldn't let that anger go. And you know, I always thought I was like so productive because I was just constantly just going, always doing something. But I have found so much productivity in actually sitting down and taking quiet moments to really analyze myself, you know, not judge, of course, you know. Like I said, I want this to be a judgment-free zone. And so really sitting down and having these hard conversations with myself has been so incredibly fulfilling. And I mean, especially, you know, especially after losing somebody so close to you that, you know, had become a part of your daily routine, like Greg and Russell and Dusty and Taz. And so, you know, for the longest time I had that idea that, you know, being a wife was my identity, you know. And, you know, I've come to learn that hanging your identity on anything is putting yourself in a box. It's kind of limiting you, you know. You can be whatever you want to be, and you're allowed to change your mind about it as well. I was watching a really interesting show by Lisa Beju, B-E-J. I don't know, I'll have to look it up. But she was, you know, talking about how she had agreed at the beginning of the marriage to be a stay-at-home mom. And, you know, she pretended for so long that it was fulfilling and such. She was trying basically to convince herself until finally she couldn't take it. And she, you know, told her husband, honey, I can't do this anymore. And he's like, okay, you know, why didn't you say something earlier, you know? And it just brought up the idea that, you know, as far as being unapologetically you know, and understanding that you do have the you know, you, oh my gosh, I can't speak today, apparently, words are no. But just being yourself and understanding that you do have the capability to change your mind about whether or not you're enjoying something, you know. And that's one of the things that we need to understand, is that as you grow and learn more about yourself, there are certain things that you thought were pleasurable at one time or were fulfilling that might not be, you know, tomorrow. I was actually having a conversation with one of my family members about how I used to love peanut butter and jelly. And then for a while there, I really got burnt out on it. And I really didn't like the taste of peanut butter, which actually brings me to a really funny story. And so Greg, you know, I told him that I really didn't care for peanut butter. So what he would do to tease me was put a dollop of peanut butter in his mouth without me knowing, and then he'd kiss me. And I'd be like, ew, ew, and then I'd like run away and he'd chase me all around the house. It was great. But you know, to get him back, of course, he had a sticky phobia. He hated being sticky. So I'd usually chase him around the house with the s'mores. I miss him so much. I really do. And it was those cute little things like that. But, you know, it also reminds me of, you know, so many conversations that I would have with him just about, you know, after I would learn something new about myself. And we'd have those deep conversations, and you know, or if there was something that he would do that I, you know, wasn't quite happy with, or, you know, it's having those deep conversations and going into those conversations with compassion, understanding, and yeah, empathy. That's what makes a relationship work. I was talking to one of my friends about that, and about, you know, a really deep conversation that she was having with her husband. And it was just, when she was telling me about the conversation, you know, it was, I couldn't help but feel this sense of pride about how they handled that conversation so maturely and so deeply. And, you know, they both came out of it just feeling so much better about themselves and their relationship, and the way that those conversations strengthen a relationship so much. You know, I really do. I miss those deep conversations. So, but, you know, on that note, I am going to go finish, you know, like I said, what has become one of my favorite parts of the day. Cup of tea, nice cup of tea, some yoga, and some meditation. So, you all have a great night. Like I said, you know, take some time to make sure you show yourself some self-love. You know, whether that be making yourself a cup of tea, doing some yoga, breathing exercises, meditation, you know, or even just sitting down and recounting your day and acknowledging your achievements just for that day, you know, and like I said, keep in mind the things that you survived. Those are achievements. So, yeah, make sure you love yourself. You deserve it.